know you. I know you
Shut
know.
up. Shut up.
I know you
Ain't no
know.
mystery about his
I know you know. I know you know. I
Shut
know.
up.
You know. I know you.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas. He's going to prison.
I said a while ago when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man too.
Tiny just dropped a bomb on T.Y. divorce papers, and it couldn't have come at a worse time because their son King Harris is already drowning in legal drama after his latest arrest. The shocking twist? T.I. isn't even putting up a fight to save the marriage. He's letting it all crash down without a word. Now the whole family's tearing apart at the seams and everybody's pointing fingers trying to figure out who's really to blame for this chaos. Some say the parents spoiled King with everything he could ever want, while others say King threw it all away just to play tough and chase that gangster lifestyle. The breakup of Tiny and T.I. stunned fans since they've been through decades of ups and downs together. But behind the scenes, cracks in their marriage had been there for years, and the breaking point finally hit in October 2024, right after King's reckless arrest dragged the whole family into the spotlight. Picture this: King flying out of a gas station in his flashy BMW, driving wild like nothing could touch him, until he nearly slammed into a police car. The timing couldn't have been worse because once the cops pulled him over, the situation exploded. Officers said the second they approached the car, they were hit with the strong smell of weed. Then they spotted a gun tucked right into King's waistband. Things went downhill fast. He was cuffed on the spot, and it only got uglier from there. When they ran King's name, the truth came spilling out. There was already an outstanding warrant from 2022 just waiting for him. Speeding, driving on a suspended license, and even a DUI. One arrest turned into a public scandal, and the family's private issues instantly became front-page drama.
All right, I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my gun off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
It's guns in here.
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You got to take the
There's no safety.
take the
Okay.
clip out.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. Dude, step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. I'm gonna be at the church. All right, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't sure this.
Just take the step to the side for me.
King could have slid right past trouble that night if he just kept his cool, but instead, his whole past came crashing back on him. The second that arrest footage leaked online, the internet had a field day ripping him apart, dragging every mistake he ever made into the spotlight. You could see it in his face, though. King finally realized he crossed the line this time. In the 30-minute video, he wasn't clowning around, wasn't putting on a show. You could literally see the regret in his eyes, like he knew the only way out was to keep quiet and cooperate. And let's be real, for someone like King, who's usually wild and unpredictable, holding back like that must have taken everything he had. The craziest part? He actually stayed calm the whole time. Fans were shocked because we're all used to King acting out, snapping at cameras, and talking reckless in public. But here, it was like watching the opposite of his social media persona. Even the arresting officer seemed surprised by how cool King stayed through it all. But staying calm didn't save him. He still got hauled off to DeKalb County Jail, then later transferred to Pickens County after the warrant got recalled. When the video went viral, fans did not hold back. The comments were brutal. One person straight up called him a trust fund prison punk, and people were laughing so hard that it racked up likes instantly. Another blasted him, saying he thinks his parents' money can save him, but he wants to act like he came from the streets. The internet tore him apart, but the fallout didn't just stop with King. It ripped right into his parents' marriage. Tiny was done pretending. She filed for divorce and didn't hold back. In the paperwork, she even listed King's downward spiral as the reason she couldn't take it anymore. And what did Tip do? Nothing. He didn't fight it, didn't beg, didn't even try to fix the marriage. To him, he had already done his part as a father, and if King wanted to throw it all away, that was on him. As cold as that sounds, Tip had been warning about this for years. Back in 2022, when King started going viral for the wrong reasons, Tip went online begging him to slow down, saying his son was headed down a path straight to jail. He even told Tiny and King's grandmother the same thing. Watch him or he's gonna crash out. And Tip wasn't just talking as a worried parent. He was speaking from experience. He knew what a jail cell felt like, and he didn't want to see his son go down the same road.
Hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you got to keep this shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out.
But Tiny wasn't having it. Not one bit. Instead of softening up, she flipped Tip's excuses right back on him and used them as ammo in the divorce battle. She flat out claimed that T.I. failed as a father, saying if he had stepped up and been firm with King, their son wouldn't have drifted so far off track. And honestly, she had a point. From the jump, T.I. wasn't really there. By the time Tiny found out she was pregnant with King, Tip was already in and out of prison, missing the earliest years of his son's life. When he finally came home for real, the damage was done. King had already grown up without a solid father figure. Even when T.I. was around, it didn't make much difference because he allegedly kept shipping King off to his grandmother's house instead of raising him under his own roof. King himself even revealed that despite his parents' fame and fortune, he didn't live like a kid with money. He said he grew up with his grandma, and the only times he'd get to be at his parents' house were when the cameras were rolling for their reality TV show. Imagine that. His own home only felt open to him when it was time for the spotlight. With a setup like that, it's no shock King started acting out, chasing trouble outside the house instead of finding peace inside it. One moment that proved just how wild things had gotten was King's Waffle House meltdown in 2022. It all started over something small. A worker added pickles to his order when he didn't ask for them. That tiny mistake sent King into a screaming match right there in the restaurant. He even recorded the whole ugly scene and blasted it on social media. But instead of looking tough, the video backfired. People said he looked like a spoiled brat, and the heat came down hard on T.I. for letting his son run unchecked.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King, you know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show. Come back. What? On game what? On game what? Come here, come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here, I'll show you what I do. Come here, come here.
So when Tip dropped that video warning King to get his act together, Tiny was heated. She blasted him for trying to play concerned dad in front of the world, when in reality, she felt he should have been giving those warnings years ago, not when it was already too late. Things seemed to settle for a bit, but Tip couldn't keep his disappointment bottled up forever. And it all came spilling out in front of the entire stadium during an Atlanta Falcons game, where father and son went from words to straight-up blows. It kicked off after King started running his mouth about how he didn't grow up with privilege, claiming he had it rough. That struck a nerve with Tip, who wasn't about to let his son rewrite history. He snapped back, reminding King that he was literally raised with a silver spoon in his mouth. But King wasn't backing down. Not for his dad, not for anyone. Next thing you know, the tension exploded and fists started flying. The crowd couldn't believe what they were seeing. Tip and his own son squaring up in public like enemies. And from the clip, it was clear. Tip wasn't holding back, looking like he was ready to lay his son out right then and there.
To make him look better, he said it, he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you. You capping. I know you. I know you. I know you.
Shut up.
I know you.
Ain't no mystery, man.
I know you though. I know you know. I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business.
The clip of Tip and King's fight went viral fast. Thousands of likes rolled in within hours, with people cheering Tip on for finally putting his son in check. Comments were wild. He should have busted his behind, one person wrote, comparing King's behavior to an overdue library book. If you don't return it, it'll come back to haunt you. Another added, King's been out of control. Pray for their family. Social media was split, but one thing was clear. Everybody had an opinion. But behind closed doors, Tiny wasn't clapping. She hated the way Tip embarrassed King in public, and her anger only grew when she came home and discovered Tip had kicked King out of the house completely. He told him to survive on his own, but to Tiny, that was too much. That single decision cracked their marriage even further, pushing her closer to cutting Tip off for good. And she didn't hold back in her divorce papers either. Tiny laid it all out. Tip's years of cheating, the violence, the lies he spun about changing. She claimed she had been watching the cycle repeat itself for too long. By the time King started spiraling into his own chaos, she wasn't just mad at her son. She was staring at her husband and realizing King was following the exact blueprint Tip had left behind. That's what broke her completely. King wasn't carving his own lane. He was copying Tip's old tough guy playbook, right down to the jail stints that once built his father's reputation. So when Tip tried to disown King after his arrest, Tiny snapped. Because in her eyes, he wasn't just disowning his son, he was disowning his own reflection. That's the moment the divorce papers hit the table and everything collapsed. And you can tell how badly King still craves his dad's approval by the way he constantly flashes guns online. After the arrest video blew up, some fans even suggested King walked into the whole situation on purpose, chasing street cred and trying to look like the hardened man his father once was. Others said he finally proved himself as rugged and earned the rep he'd been reaching for. The sad part? Most people believe King's antics all tie back to one thing: getting respect from Tip. That played out again when Tip and Boozy both had to check their sons on camera. King and Boozy's boy, Tootie Raw, were supposed to be filming a music video, but instead of focusing on the song, they were waving guns around like they were deep in a trap house. That's when the dad stepped in. You could hear the disappointment dripping in Tip's voice as he checked King right there. Why you so focused on looking tough when there's girls around? It turned into a full-on lecture. Tip and Boozy made it clear. One slip with those guns or having the wrong thing on them could destroy their lives in an instant. They weren't joking, and you could see in that clip just how serious they were.
So motherfucking 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Nobody got to raise their hand. I've been seeing him around too here a lot. You gonna raise your own hand? I've been seeing him around too. Huh? Well, when you got drugs, it ain't like I know that. Y'all got drugs around those legal guns. That called it's not possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Yeah. Thank you.
On the outside, it looked like Tip was really trying to steer his son away from disaster, warning King that the road he was on would only land him in jail. But when Tiny heard about it, she wasn't impressed at all. In fact, she was furious. Not because she supported King's reckless gun flashing or his tough guy act, but because she felt Tip was years too late with his concerned father routine. Tiny's point was clear. King was only copying what he'd already seen his father do. So hearing Tip suddenly act like a mentor didn't sit right with her. To Tiny, the hypocrisy was loud. And just when things couldn't get any messier, King's personal life took a wild turn. And that's what finally broke Tiny's patience completely. The spark, baby mama drama. Out of nowhere, Tip went on a podcast and casually announced that he was about to become a grandfather again because King was having a child. Tiny couldn't believe her ears. To her, it sounded less like concern and more like Tip was endorsing his son's reckless choices. And what made it even worse? The whole situation surrounding King's baby mama wasn't just messy, it was downright strange.
He just became a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
Rumors started swirling fast about King's baby mama, Big Nana, and the whispers weren't pretty. People claimed she was way older than King, and some even accused her of linking up with him just to secure a bag. They said King was too young and too blinded to see what was really going on. But King didn't care one bit. He was hyped about the whole situation. He didn't hide it either. Instead of brushing off the gossip, he leaned all the way in, grinning ear to ear and bragging about stepping into fatherhood. By November 2024, when their baby boy was finally born, King was over the moon, posting nonstop, flashing pics, and proudly claiming his new role as a dad like it was the biggest win of his life.
A lot of people hit me up like, King, I know you tired. You ain't getting no sleep. And the truth be told, before this little I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle. You know, lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him. And, he like to walk around the house. So,
King even dropped a track called Dear Son, pouring his heart out about stepping up as a dad. He captioned the post with the exact time of his son's birth. November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr., time to take over. For a second, it actually looked like King was ready to change, like fatherhood had flipped a switch and finally taught him to calm down. For Tiny, that was the silver lining. She finally saw her son showing up as the kind of father he never had growing up. She watched King holding his baby, being present, and she thought maybe this was his chance to correct the mistakes Tip once made when King was just a child himself. It was emotional for her, almost like a cycle was finally breaking. But the timing couldn't have been worse, because while King was online posting like a proud dad, that arrest footage was still making rounds everywhere. Social media never let up, and the viral clip kept reminding the world that King was still deep in trouble. Through it all, Tip tried to play the supportive father role, but his disappointment kept leaking out, and Tiny saw it plain as day. The fact that Tip was so ashamed of King that he didn't even want to live under the same roof with him, that shattered her completely. So when the divorce papers finally hit the table, nobody was surprised. It was the last straw in a marriage that had been falling apart for years. And Tiny, she's done. She's not hiding. She's not covering. She's calling it what it is. Now the only question left is what Tip does next. Because if he stays silent with Tiny the way he stayed silent with King, then this family might already be finished for good.